what is the response of insurance company, Dr. Aseem? Because I have seen few reports from US that they are saying that any adverse effect of vaccine won't be considered as the death side effect of vaccine.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't really comment on specific insurance companies, Ashutosh. But what I can tell you, making a clinical diagnosis in medicine ensures that people are aware of all the possible causes of a problem. So when it comes to drug side effects, if one is not aware of a possibility of a drug side effect, you'll always miss it as a doctor, as a diagnosis. But what I have seen, once you include, for example, with Pfizer vaccine, once you include the possibilities, and in fact, in my paper, which I published, and people can read that, there's actually a list that was endorsed by the World Health Organization of all organizations, where they actually list every single possible side effect that could occur that is serious. And this list was endorsed when the vaccines were rolled out. I mean, look at that list. Anything and everything that could go wrong with the heart, Ashutosh, is in that list, and that's what we're seeing. Now, the problem is if a doctor, again, isn't aware, even if it's a rare complication, we learned in medical school, even the rarest of diseases, any doctor listening to this will know that. And the reason we learn about a rare disease, which may only be prevalent in 1 in a million people in the population, is if you're not aware of how that disease manifests itself in terms of symptoms, the clinical history, you'll always miss it. If you're not aware of the disease, you'll always miss it. We can apply the same principles when it comes to vaccine side effects. But because many doctors are still under the illusion, the false illusion, that these new novel vaccines that have been used are as safe and as effective as previous vaccines, they are not going to acknowledge the possibility of these very common serious adverse events happening, whether people suffering heart attacks, sudden cardiac deaths, strokes, or anything else. And this is really the problem. So the truth hasn't been disseminated to doctors and to the public. And in fact, the opposite has happened in many ways because of a very strong media campaign that's been run, supported and enforced in some ways by governments to try and ensure as many people as possible are taking up the vaccines. And really, we have to just stop, understand why this happened, how this happened, and then offer solutions moving forward. But you asked me about the pharmaceutical companies earlier. The problem we have, and people need to understand this, is that often big corporations and pharmaceutical companies are included in this. They actually fulfill criteria for behaving like psychopaths, the entities, not the individuals. I'm not accusing individuals within those companies, but the entity. Deliberate lying for profit, callous unconcern for the safety of others. This is all under they fulfill almost every criteria for psychopathy. And if you have these powerful big corporations that over the years have been getting more and more power, more and more influence over governments, over academic institutions, over media, and they often behave in psychopathic ways to get their profits. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, Ashutosh, what's going to happen to society and we're going to get moved further and further away from the truth. And of course, that is the very opposite of what it means to try and live the life that people want to lead, where they can have optimal mental and physical health. And I can say this obviously with a doctor's hat and from a medical perspective. So doctors are making clinical decisions in general quite often on biased and corrupted information for their patients. And therefore, at best, you're going to have suboptimal outcomes for the patient. And at worst, you're going to do harm. And that's exactly where we're at right now.